Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa 'allimna ma yanfa'una wa zidna ilma. O Allah, benefit us through what you teach us and teach us what benefits us. Shaitan. And increase us in knowledge.
Oh. I think there is an issue with the connection, that's why it's just keeping on coming. I don't even have my mouse, so I can't. Okay, we'll do one thing.
Topic for today and tomorrow, inshallah, is comparative religion. So, what do you expect in this? What are your expectations?
To compare religions?
Of course. Yes. That means I identify different religions, put in a supermarket, go to that place and compare, see the quality of each one and choose one according to my choice. This is comparative selection. The religions are compared. The product is compared. TV, I go TV shop to buy TV made in Japan, made in America, made in Taiwan, made in China, made in Germany. There are so many TVs displayed. I choose one. I am comparing. This itself is not acceptable Islamically. We do not compare religions. Religion is only one. Where is the comparison? Straight line is only one. How can you have different straight lines? From point A to point B, you can draw only one straight line. And you want to identify many straight lines to compare. It's not possible. Point A to point B, only one straight line. And I am comparing. What does it mean? There is a fallacy in the very concept of comparative religion. Okay. What about so many religions occurring? We have different religions. It's a fact. What about Christianity, Hinduism, Judaism, blah, 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 19 world recognized major religions. They are all religions. So, we have to compare, isn't it? These are nothing but the straight lines making an angle from the beginning, and the distance keeps on increasing with time. So, lot of deviations are taking place. This line is going in one direction, making an angle. That means deviated from the straight line and going in this direction. So, this deviation, intensity of deviation or magnitude of deviation,
Keeps on increasing.
which may become some constant and it may take this shape. So, this is the thing which I say lateral thinking, critical thinking. What does it mean? A thinking which is not conforming to the established procedure. We have a mindset of comparative religion, but this mindset When I hear from someone, I just accept. I do not apply my own thinking. I take it as it is. But in lateral thinking or critical thinking, I put my own input to scrutinize, to examine that particular concept. What does it mean? And this is the basic thing. And this is how your intellectuality, power of intellectuality increases. If you remain at the same level, then there is no progress. There is no evolution of thoughts. With time, evolution of thoughts also important. Islam is a religion which is meant for entire mankind and suits to all times. There is potential to cope with changing times. But if you make it rigid, then naturally we cannot consider for all times. It was for 7th century only, later it is not possible. So these are the basic things which prompted me to address this. Of course, I will come to that point. And first, my introductory point is this: comparative religion, which is normally considered acceptable on the face of it, it has certain fallacies. What is meant by comparative religion? From dictionary, we find this definition, or the standard books. They give a definition of comparative religion, which is defined as the academic study that involves comparing and analyzing different religions across cultures and societies to identify similarities and differences. We compare to identify similarities and differences in beliefs, practices, and traditions. Means religion. Put together, all the three put together, it is religion. So that becomes similarities and differences in the existing religions. Who started this comparative religion? It started in 10th century by a Muslim, famous Muslim, Al-Biruni, and another person in the 10th and 11th century, Ibn Hazm. Both of these Islamic scholars of golden age, the golden age of Europe, that time, during those days, the Islamic scholars were the leaders to start the concept of comparing what are those religions existing at that time. They are fathers, they can be considered as fathers of comparative religion, because they compared and studied the religions, pluralism of religion. That means religions have become plural, not singular. The Islamic concept is singular, but pluralism has appeared. So they addressed that issue. And their works have been significant in the field of theology and philosophy. Later on, we identify many other scholars, Orientalists, because for the Westerners, they have only one religion, Christianity. So when they talk about other religions, this is mostly Eastern religions. So they become scholars of Eastern values, Eastern religions. So we call them Orientalists. So one of them is Max Muller. Particularly, he has done a good work, very scholarly work with reference to Hinduism. In India, we have different places in India. Max Muller, he is a German national. He was professor also in Oxford University. We have in India, I had in my hometown Hyderabad, Max Muller Bhavan, which means Max Muller House, you can say, center. And they have the research work of different religions with focus on Hinduism. So these are the people who have, and people said that he is the founder of comparative science of religion. Previously, the same thing was being studied in the name of history of religion. So he replaced the history of religion by science of religion. That means study of religion. The term comparative religion broadly signifies the study of traditions and forms of religious life, as distinguished from the study or exposition of just one. Here the emphasis on plurality, more than one. If I want to study religion, I am a Muslim, I focus only on Islamic religion. Why I should study Christianity or others? If somebody wants to be scholar of Christianity, he will go to institutes where Christianity is taught to get the degrees, Doctor of Divinity, for example. Hindus go to their institutes. So the trend is generally people go to their own study or their own religion, single religion. There was no concept of studying side by side other religions. So that's why comparative religion become okay. Now we want to have a deeper understanding about what we mean by religion, the word religion. Let us focus on the word religion. We have an understanding, it's a superficial understanding, but let us have little depth in understanding. So I am going to refer to the origin of the word religion. We are using religion, comparative religion. What do you mean by religion? You should know this first, this basic thing. So when I look to this, what is meant by religion, I found that religion is a Latin word which is anglicized. The original Latin word is religio, which means obligation, bond, putting together, derived probably from the verb religare, that means the tie back, to tight. Bondage is to tight. You tie a person, you tie a child or thief so that cannot run away. So this tying is in the sense of tying with the in this as a term, this was literal meaning of the source of literal meaning, dictionary meaning of the Latin word religion. But as a term, in this particular sense of tying back, as a term, it referred to bondage with what? Between human beings and gods. And from the 5th century, it came to be used for monastic life. The origin is before Jesus, pagan. They used for their gods. But after Christianity, they gave a shape, instead of gods, the Christian concept of God. So religious practices were meant by religion. The word English religion, the English word religion referred to the religious practices. But the word religion itself was being used in English only from 16th century. Until then, this word did not exist. Until 16th century, no literature in the world had this word religion. So this is very recent phenomenon, relatively. Let us reflect more on this. The Bible mentions the stories of the prophets. It doesn't mention what was their religion. Bible doesn't mention the religion of those prophets. Bible gives the stories from Adam alayhi salam to Jesus. But nowhere any prophet or messenger or their followers are labeled with a religious name. Why? 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 Let me know.
All were Muslims.
Sorry?
They were all Muslims. They were all following the same.
No, with reference to the name religion. This is our understanding, they were Muslims. But in the literature, I am talking about literature, this word religion was not existing. So, for example, my personal experience I will share. I was giving the tour in the Al-Fateh Mosque to a Christian group, and many things I talk, showing different parts in the masjid. I came to the mihrab and significance of this direction in which we pray, in the direction of Qibla, which is where Kaaba is there, which was built by originally Ibrahim salam. So I asked this Christian, what was the religion of Abraham? He was not expecting such a question. He was speechless. I gave a few moments and I said, we will not find this, simply because this term was not existing. The religion was not existing. Even if you take a lens and do research, you will not find what was the religion of Abraham. But he was a religious person. You agree? He said, yes. From this story, when God wanted to Ibrahim alayhi salam to sacrifice his son, what was his response? He was ready, indicating devotion to God, obeying God. He did not complain, oh God, you have given this son in my old age. Bible reports he was 80 years old. And you have given me after a lot of prayers a precious thing which I asked for you, and you want to take away? please show mercy, spare me, have mercy on me. Did he respond in this fashion? No. Of course, all this he could have told. He is a merciful God, please show mercy on me and don't ask such a thing, difficult for me. He did not say. He jumped to sacrifice, to obey God. That means it shows devotion to God. I asked him, do you agree? Yes. Devotion to God or submission to God. And this attitude towards God is expressed in Arabic by one word. This attitude of the person, Ibrahim alayhi salam, towards God is described in Arabic by one word. Can you guess what is the word? He thought for a while and he said, Inshallah, because he was American and he keeps hearing Inshallah and things like that. So he said, I said, no, Islam. So I wanted to give the impression, Islam is not a religious title, it is not a label, it is an attitude. And this is why people get confused. There was no religion existing for anything. Bible doesn't mention. Then I asked, some more interaction was there. I came to ask, now let me know what was the religion of Jesus. So from the group, immediately one fellow jumped. He was a Jew. Yeah, he was Jew by tribe. He was going to synagogue. He was observing Saturday, not Sunday. He was not going to church. He was not preaching Christianity. He was a Jew, of course. But what was his religion? Again, speechless. I say, this is the religion. Submission to God. So in our understanding, attitude of submission to God is the religion. And it is not a label. It is not a label given to a group of people who have this particular beliefs and practices. So this is the background of religion. Religion didn't exist. And exactly this is the Islamic concept. I am coming to that. Let us define religion. It is difficult to define and it can be defined in different ways. So out of many definitions, I picked two definitions. One is, the term is sometimes used interchangeably with faith or belief system. General definition, the first one is a system of faith or beliefs and worship, these sacred practices, usually focused upon some supernatural power, ruling power, which can be for monotheistic religions, gods, single God, and non-monotheistic, mushrikeen, polytheistic gods. So since the definition is to be applied to all religions, they have included this God or gods. So basically a system, belief system, and system which has some practices, beliefs and practices, two parts. Every religion is given two parts, one pertaining to beliefs, other to practices, and plus some more things. Okay, another definition, the ritualistic or spiritualistic aspect of life. the activities in life are divided into spiritual activity, non-spiritual or worldly activity or secular activity, spiritual activity, ritualistic activity, spiritual activity. So life is divided into two compartments. One belongs to dealing with God, you worship, you have some beliefs. The other part belongs to worldly life. You do whatever you like. You are free to do. But Islamic concept is not like this. Islamic concept is, it is not a religion, it's a way of life. What does it mean? Way of life. Shafiq? Islam is a way of life. What is the term in Arabic? Arabic term for way of life. Sorry? No, this is path, straight path. Anybody?
Sister is saying deen.
Deen. Deen. Deen is not religion. Normally translations, wherever deen occurs in the Quran, is translated as religion. Why they translate as religion? Because there is no single word in English to represent the full concept of religion, deen. So deen is translated as religion, but now later translations they have started using way of life. But way of life is also very vague. What do you mean by way of life? What is way of life?
The way a person lives.
Yeah, good. This is also vague. Be specific. Give me one statement which very clearly indicates way of life.
A good human being.
Sorry?
A good human being.
This is very, abstract, philosophical statement. Practical statement. Relating to my daily life. In practical terms.
Connection with God.
Sorry?
Connection.
Connection with God? No. Connection with God is only one component. Vertical component. We have got a horizontal component also. Welcome, Ahmad. Ahlan wa sahlan. I missed you for this long. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Adhere to the teachings of
In practical terms, simple words, meaningful sense. I define like this. Maybe you have better definition, but in my humble opinion, this is so far is very effective. Allahu Akbar. We will break after this particular definition. When we say way of life, okay, Ahmad, you just came, you are fresh, I want to attack you. I want to state me in simple words which gives the meaning of way of life. How you describe way of life in a statement, simple, in practical way, specific way. No vagueness in this, hitting any definition. I have told earlier, but
you came at the wrong time.
yeah. Every activity in life, from morning when you get up from the bed until you go back to bed, this is practical aspect. Every activity in life, from morning to evening, from birth to death, every activity, if is carried out with the consciousness of God, is deen. This is way of life. The way we live, keeping God in picture. Whatever you do mundane things. You are walking, okay. Walking is a way of life, and you get something hurdle in the way, you remove this hurdle. This is deen. And you get reward. When God is brought into picture, the hadith is there, removing something which is harmful from the path is charity, sadaqah. It gets the spiritual dimension immediately. What is spiritual dimension? Consciousness of God. Bring God in the picture. What does it mean, God in the picture? God approves this, and He will reward me. I consider this as a good thing. That's why we keep remembering God. I drink water. Drinking water, we always drink. But way of life, drinking water, I say, I remember God. Bring God in picture, I say Bismillah. God is connected. I get reward for this. Same activity, mundane activity, it gets spiritual dimension and reward doing what God wants. Is happy or pleased or at least approves. So this consciousness is there in the term deen. So is it clear? Everybody? Backbenchers? Yes, then we'll break inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We'll begin again. Where did we leave? What point? This is the slide. But let us go a little back. We tried to know the origin of the English word religion. We are talking about comparative religion. The word religion itself did not exist in the English language in this particular sense, what we are discussing, until, anybody who remembers, until, a bit louder, in 16th century. So that is the reason in the English Bible, there is no mention of the word religion for ascribed to any prophet, any messenger of God.
So, like in Old Testament, Hebrew, Aramaic, Greek language, there is no word religion or similar.
No, English language religion, I don't know. I mean, Hebrew, we are talking about comparative religion. With reference to that, I am talking what is comparative and what is religion. So comparative means we identify different options available, choose one of them, I compare which one is better, I choose. So there are parallel available to me. So I am comparing which one is better, suiting to my requirement. So, but this concept with reference to the understanding of religion is wrong. We do not have this concept of different religions existing. We have only one religion. What is that religion?
Submission, surrender.
It's not a label. That religion is attitude towards God. And that name religion has been put. The name religion has put to this particular attitude from the time of Prophet ﷺ. Anyway, so we were trying to define religion. The religion cannot be defined by one agreeable way. So we defined in different ways. If you take dictionaries, many dictionaries define in different ways. So most commonly accepted definitions, and with reference to our discussions, I chose only two to make things simple. It's a system of beliefs and practices. So the other things are just to explain further. Beliefs, we call it faith also, belief system. We say worship to the sacred practices, rituals, and all these things surround with reference to some supreme being, maybe one, maybe more than one, monistic or polytheistic. Other definition is ritualistic or spiritualistic aspect of life. So life here is divided into two compartments. One is religious compartment, another is secular compartment, because religion is identified as spiritual aspect. The other is worldly aspect. So these are two separate aspects.
Can you go back one? Take picture. Thank you.
This I have already discussed. It could be, this slide could be put earlier also. Okay. Why to compare religions? This is the question. So the first point I mentioned already in the beginning, there is a fallacy in comparing religions from the Islamic standpoint. But non-Islamic standpoint, there are religions. There are religions identified by some labels. Hinduism, Buddhism, Confucianism, Judaism, Christianity, and on and on. These are all religions.
Ism.
Religions, yeah. And in the same tone, Islam is a religion. If you are given a form, what is your religion? So you write Islam.
But it doesn't end with ism.
ISM. ISM is, in order to label, they put different ways to identify. What Hindus, the first is Hindu. What religion they have got, that is identified with this word Hindu, adding ism. So in fact, all isms are a sort of religion. Communism, capitalism, these are isms. In a way, they are all religions. Atheism is also a religion. Denying a religion is also a religion. A group of people, they do not have faith. So there is one group of people who are to be identified as atheists, and their religion is atheism in a way. They are not actually identified. Internationally, it is not identified as a religion per se, because religion has to include some ritual. So atheism, communism, capitalism, these isms, they do not have any ritual, so they are excluded. But in a broader sense, in an abstract sense, they are nothing but religion, because they have identified as a group, a community who believes this. So this is belief system. They believe in capitalism, so this is a belief system, but they don't have rituals. And we expose this fallacy. What is the fallacy? In comparing religion, you are not there, I think. So I ask, fallacy means something fault, something wrong, assuming to compare is not correct. To use this word, comparing, is not correct. Something wrong in this. It's a faulty thing. It's inappropriate. It is not correct to say comparing. It's not correct to say comparison is not valid. When we say comparing religion, it's not valid. So, Brother Ahmad, can you say why it is not valid?
I think, Sheikh, you have mentioned before, because one God, one human being, so one belief, one religion. Like God will never change His mind, but people, they are changing their mind.
They're not changing mind. They are changing direction. So that leads to go on that path, so their mind is put in that direction. Anyway, to bring another point, I told this point A to point B, only one straight line is possible. There are no two straight lines. Any line will deviate from the straight path, joining the A to B. Imagine A as human being or creature, B as the creator, God. Between man and God, only one straight line. And this is told, this boy was telling Sirat Mustaqim. So with reference to that, this is the straight line, is just Sirat Mustaqim. This is the unseen reality, because point B, God is not seen. There is no tangible proof, only evidence. By reasoning, we conclude there is God, exists. So there is no tangible proof. So there is chance to miss this point of B. So this B is imagined somewhere else. So they deviate. They go in search of B in another direction. B is only there, one straight line. You are looking for B somewhere here. You will not find B here, not here. B is here. B is God, you can say, true God, not imaginary God. God is beyond imagination. Anyway, so comparing religion is not a proper way to say. Religions are to be compared, because the religion means the truth, the reality. It doesn't change with time or place. It remains same all times and every place. Simple example I give: 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3, straightforward. This reality, that means the 2 plus 3 makes 5. 100 years, 1000 years, 10,000 years back also 2 plus 3 was 5. It will not change. And in future also, any number of years, it will not change. It's a reality. Reality doesn't change with time and place. The sun is bright. This is reality. If somebody says sun is not bright, then something wrong with your eyesight. It is not looking bright to you. The reality doesn't need proofs. Reality is reality. But the problem comes when the reality is unseen. You start imagining. And God is beyond imagination. So, anything brought into imagination as God, by definition, is not God. God can be brought into imagination. If something is imagined, means khalas. You are not getting to God. God is beyond imagination. The unseen reality is beyond imagination. Life after death, another reality. Nobody can give tangible proofs of this reality. So we have to have, that's why for unseen realities, the question of faith comes. You believe something is real. But you do not have to believe there is table. You don't ask proof that prove this is table. If somebody asks, then he will say, crazy, what happened to you? You don't know this is table? Yes, this is table. You don't say, I believe this is table. You say, I know this is table. And you use the word believe when you have not, you don't have tangible proofs, solid proofs. Because you don't know, but you believe, that's why you believe something is true. But I know table, I don't have to believe, I know this is table. Another example, coronavirus. Have you seen?
No.
Virus, you have not seen. But you believe? Yes. You have seen the picture also. It's all this crown-like something existing, antenna. So you believe. That means you have not seen, it is not, there is no tangible evidence to see, but you believe because somebody has told you, because the scientists have told you, and you trust the scientist, you trust the doctors, scientists, whosoever doing research, they will not tell lies. So you have trust, they are qualified to see in their own ways, you trust, so you accept. So you don't know there was a virus, corona, but since somebody who has informed, this is trustworthy source, so I believe. Messenger. Same way, when it comes to unseen realities, I don't know, but someone has given me this information. I trust that someone. He is called prophet or messenger. I trust him, so I accept that particular as belief, system of belief. So this was important to talk about beliefs and practice. Yes, please.
Allah mentioned Quran said, وَعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ.
No, this is, I want to discuss as a person who has landed from Mars. I don't know. I am new on the earth. I find so many people, so many religions, and I am confused. I want to know. Totally neutral. I am unbiased. This is my position. So if you are quoting from the Quran, of course, when you say from this Islamic point of view, then it's good. I mean, this should be like this. But from neutral point of view, for comparative religion, I cannot take that stand because they don't believe in the Quran. If they are believing in the Quran, they are the same as Muslim. So because they are in another group, which is not like us, so we have to be neutral. Our approach should be in a way that it makes sense to them. It makes sense to us is not important for them. It is important for me, for internal consumption. But we are to spread the message of Islam, message of truth, then I have to imagine in their shoes, from what angle they are looking at it. So, this fallacy. But there are religions, so we have to compare naturally. Even though it is wrong to say they are religious, but we cannot deny the reality. There are religions recognized. When I have a form to fill, I have to write religion, Christian, Jew, something. So we have internationally, universally, this is a understanding. My understanding is, no, there is no religion. So in order to identify myself with a group of people who have certain beliefs and certain practices, rituals. So that group is given a label. This label is identified as a religion. So this point is clear. But I have to compare now. What is the main reason to compare? Compare the existing religions, these labels. I have to compare naturally. I have to scrutinize. What is the main reason why I should study comparative religion?
Search for commonalities and differences between religions, catching the original meaning.
What is the objective?
To know the truth.
To know the truth, whether I am right or whether they are right. That means, in that case, you have to see what they do, what they believe, see what I am doing, what I am believing. So that leads to discover the truth. In Discover Islam, I was running classes of basic Islamic studies, open to all, Muslims, non-Muslims, new Muslims, young and old. So once I received an air hostess, British air hostess, Irish. She says, she heard the topic was, somewhere around this. So I focused on this aspect. Then she said, you are Muslims, so you are telling Islam is the true religion. Obviously you will tell. But I am Catholic. For me, Catholicism is the true religion. So tell me why you say like this. I say, good question. So first I have to become neutral. Not as a Muslim, I should present from neutral angle so that everyone agrees on the criteria to recognize a true religion. So I left to her, you tell me what should be the criteria for a true religion, and we will discuss. Now the ball is in her court. So she said, no, this. I said, okay, next week we'll talk. Yes, so next week she did not come. So she never appeared. But this particular question I kept in my mind, and I prepared a lesson on religion. So in that research work, I have discovered this particular definition, and all these things what I am sharing with you is those days I quote. Then I came up with the topics. What is religion? Why religion? I am happy without any religion. So how do you argue with such a person? I am a good human being. I am not harming anyone. And happy. My worldly life is happy. People are happy around me. Society is happy. I am a harmless person. Why I should have religion? Without religion I am happy. So this is a good question. It needs to be addressed. And then lastly, there are so many religions. Which religion? From neutral angle I have to decide. So those things I have included for curriculum for my kids, those kids which is in the school. Why? These are simple things. It doesn't need graduation degree from the university. The kids can understand. So why kids should not be taught such things about religion? They have to know only when they become adult. If they know right from this beginning, their foundation is very strong. Later on, the youth problems do not arise because their foundation is very strong. So that was the angle or point which I focused, and I started addressing the basics. So I prepared a model back to basics. I am not very scholar talking about so many things, tafsir and fiqh and all those things. But this is for scholars. Me is ABC, alif bata, starting points. Start from the root. I want to have mango tree, but this tree, origin of the tree, basic thing is seed. When it is germinating, first thing comes out is root. If the root is good, then tree will be fruit bearing and you will eat the fruits. But if the root is not taken care, whole tree is gone. So first things first, basic things first. These are important things, basics. Without being clear about this, then high level scholarly things, they become only theory, only academics. It does not help us in practical life. Anyway, so why we compare religions? This helps us to see the beauty in our faith. In Bahrain, we had, a few years ago, there was a ship going to Japan, taking youth from different countries. Japan to India to Sri Lanka to and then until Japan, whatever countries in between. So people of all religions. So Bahraini youth was also there. And they came to discover Islam to get an orientation. They are Muslims. So after they came back, I sat with them. How was your experience? They say, now we know how beautiful Islam. These other religions, they were not exposed to. They are stupids. And they are doing so many things which don't make sense. So they never thought deeply. They took it for granted. This fellow is Hindu, let it be there. But when they mix up and they interact with each other in the ship, they have to be together. There will be discussions and sitting together. Then they got a chance to exchange their culture and tradition and all those things. So that was the program actually. So in that program, they were benefited this way, that their faith in Islam became strong. This is one aspect. The other aspect is we see the weak points in other religions, and you try to find out why this is happening. Then you can come up with the solutions to guide them, to do dawah. So unless you know about their religious background, your dawah will not be successful. That is the reason comparative religion. If you are doing dawah to Christians, you must know the Christian beliefs. If I go to a scholar in an Arab country and a Hindu comes fresh from India, and this scholar is never exposed to Hinduism, and what dawah he can do? He doesn't know who is Hindu. He should know where does he stand, Hindu, with reference to the beliefs, with reference to many things. So understanding your addressee is very important. So addressee means his religion, his belief system is very important to know in order to make an assessment examination what they believe, and also to give you confidence that what I believe is really good. Okay, now we come to the Islamic concept.
So which means we have to study those religions.
Yes.
We have to know about Hinduism.
Yeah. If you are doing dawah to Hindus, you must know Hinduism. But our concept about religion is there is no pluralism of religion. It's not by definition, there are not many religions. So, this is the approach I take when I talk or interact with Hindus. I do not compare. I say we are together. You and me are same. Where is the question of conflict? If we are having tug of war, debate, to say who is right, who is wrong, then the friction will come. But there is no pulling, pushing. We are both same sides. Halas. No problem. This is called inclusive approach. How does it come? By sharing commonalities. What are similarities?
So we have to quote from their books during the tour. Like in Hindu books, it's mentioned only one God. He has no similarity. He is not equal to his creation. And the Bible as well, same. So quoting this one would be good during the tour.
Right. That is the reason we have to study the religions. And since Allah informs us that He has sent guides, messengers to every nation, for sure in India also there was a messenger. For sure. Because this information has come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mentioned in the Quran. India has received prophets and messengers. China has received big community, Chinese culture, Chinese civilization, old civilization. They must have received according to the Quranic information. This is a fact. But who are those prophets? Here lies the catch. Since Quran has not mentioned, you cannot be certain about it. You cannot be sure about it. But based on your deeper thinking, your examination of the things of what they believe and what they practice, looking at the commonalities, you can reach to certain conclusions. And then you have to explain not only commonalities, of course this is the starting point, but then go to differences. You have to talk about differences. If you stop at commonalities, they will be happy, you will be happy, but you have not done your job. You have not shared the reality. Reality is we have differences. But talking about differences first, this is not hikmah. This is not wisdom. So my formula, easy formula for dawah. You know that? What is the formula? ABC of dawah. ABC is not ABC only. AA, BB, CC, even DD, EE, FF. 6 steps.
Give gifts.
FF, yes.
GG. Give gifts.
Yeah. GG you can add, yes. 2 steps before entering into interaction or discussion about religion. 2 steps, very important. Don't jump to next step before passing through these 2 steps. Like you climb, you want to go to first floor from ground floor, you take stairs, You, one by one, you climb. If you jump, a person like me jumps, miss the chance to fall. So don't cross this. So 2 steps before discussing religion. This is AABB. 2 steps during discussion. And 2 steps after interaction. 6. And these 6 steps, they are all based on Quran and Sunnah and Prophet's Seerah. You will find examples of these steps. So I prepared that a separate lesson on this. This formula AABBCC. It's simple. You cannot forget. You can always remember. But this is a generalized formula. It depends. There are certain, sometimes one step merges with other. Sometimes it takes time. So it's not exactly like algebra formula, a plus b whole square. This formula is a very imperative formula, you can say. 2 steps later on. So I'm talking about comparative religion. 2 steps are CC and DD. CC is capitalizing on commonalities. That means make use of those commonalities. And DD is discuss the differences. First CC and then DD. Normally what happens? A Hindu comes, what is this? You are worshipping idols, it doesn't make sense. Straight you criticize. This fellow feels hurt. He will run away. He will not be in receiving mode. He is pushed aside. He should feel happy. So if I tell him, what you believe and what we believe is same. Oh, really? Yes. When Christian knows that we believe Jesus also is, yes. Without believing Jesus, I am not Muslim. To that extent. I believe in his miraculous birth. Rahmakallah. I believe he performed miracles. Oh, really? Yeah. I also believe in the second coming of Jesus. Yes. Who believes other than Christians? Only Muslims. Salman ji, I think this level we have to reduce. Brother Magdi is also uncomfortable. And
Somebody, I don't know, keep on playing with them.
yeah, somebody. So much of crowd inside, still we feel normally it was not the case. When people gather, it becomes warm. How much it was? 24?
No, it was 23.5 minutes, 24.
Yeah, but what did you keep?
24.
Make it 25.
No, 25 is
25?
24 is okay.
Okay, agreed.
26
Yes.
ربع نزيد خالص.
Anyway, okay.
CCDD يا شيخ.
Why should we discuss differences?
Because we are feeling cold and some people
Huh?
are feeling hot.
Sorry?
Because some people are feeling hot and some people are feeling cold.
Yeah. Yeah. Why should we discuss the differences? Hot and cold.
Maybe we give them a chance to think.
bodies to start the thinking. Temperature of the
Yeah,
body.
to provoke their ego to think.
If you share only commonalities, then say, okay, we share everything, so be happy, you take your way, I'm happy, I'm my way, and ultimately we are reaching the same God. This is the argument normally we get. Those who are very broad-minded, very inclusive approach, they say, you are going from one direction, I am going from one direction, ultimately we have the same target, God, worship God. So we are worshipping God. What do you say? Is it correct? Sorry?
Obviously not.
Obviously not. But how to convince? What is the fallacy? Anybody?
Magic.
He is tired. He is working hard during daytime. It's natural. His body demands this. So no problem. He already knows many things, but already he's kind of him that he comes here. Okay, anyway. Anybody from backside? Let me know, what did I ask? What did I ask? What did I ask?
The question is why to compare, right?
No, it's a God. If they have God, why we should follow your religion?
Another person, non-Muslim, is sitting with me and I am explaining what we share. He is happy. He said, yeah, ultimately all religions who believe in God, we are trying to adopt our own ways to worship God. Ultimately, we are worshipping God. So we have the common things. So whatever way you take is okay. Ultimately, our destination is same.
Our concept is different, so we cannot reach to the same point. My concept of God is different from your concept of God. My God is ultimate.
This is addressing differences. When you don't address differences,
No,
We are not seeing the B point from the same direction. We are
Okay.
not being the same.
no. To make it simple, I give an example. I want to catch aeroplane. My destination is airport. There are many roads leading to airport. I come out from my home. There are so many roads, this road, so many ways going. I do not take any road thinking that this will lead to airport. I am imagining I am going to airport, but I have taken a road which is not leading to airport because my imagination of airport is wrong. What I imagine as God is not that God, my destination, the true God. That means about God who has informed about himself. Who is he? It is imaginary God. Your God is imaginary God. You may imagine he is there, but he is not there. Where you are going. Your point was absolutely correct. The concept of God is responsible for this. You are imagining, this is your wishful thinking that we are worshipping the same God. No, we are not worshipping the same God. We are worshipping the God, same in the sense, the reality is same. But your concept is gone. You miss the target.
it's a God of your understanding.
Yes. It is your understanding means you are imagining God, or once you imagine God, gone. Khalas. He is not God.
This is my God.
Yes. A cow is God. So I am worshipping cow, but this is not, we are not leading to the same destination. The concept of God is where we differ. Now, when we discuss the differences, after commonalities, how we can proceed?
Evaluation.
Don't point out the differences straight. Try to them to start thinking. Switch on your car. Their mind should start thinking. That you can do. Before we talk about differences, what are the differences? We should talk about why these differences. Why there are differences? With Christians, we share so many things common. But differences are also there. Why these differences? One Christian asked me in the tour. Then I said, Yes, this is what exactly is my confusion. Why you are not following Jesus? Why you are praying with violin, singing, dancing? Jesus prayed with his forehead on the ground, like Muslims. And why you are praying like this? Now he cannot answer. There he is caught. Before talking about the differences, what are the differences? If you make them start thinking why differences have come. So since a Muslim firmly believes they are not different religions, it is the same religion, so you will definitely have certain things to favor you. So you have to look for those things. So these religious names which we want to compare, they are due to these reasons.
But Sheikh, the word Islam is not mentioned in any previous books except
Is it mentioned?
like submission. But
Yeah.
Yes, but not like Islam. If we translate it, submission.
Even Muslims' understanding of Islam is not in a label sense. Allah has never addressed Muslim community, Ya ayyuhal Muslimun. If it is a religious label, then Allah should address. Allah says, Ya ayyuhan nas, He addresses people. Ya ayyuhan nas, Ya ayyuhal kafirun. But when it comes to Muslim, what is that? Any Ya ayyuhal Muslimun? Anytime you read, then how He addresses Muslims? Ya ayyuhallazina amanu. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu. Qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. The command is given to those who believe. That means Allah is not interested in labels. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Not in the labels. There are two places this has been mentioned. Anyone in the Quran, one in Surah Baqarah and in Surah Ma'idah. Anyone who believes in Allah and Akhirah and does good deeds, be he is a Jew or Christian or Sabian, it doesn't matter. Whosoever does this, la khawfun alayhim wa la hum yahzanun. Man amana billahi wal yawmil akhir wa amala. Yes. La khawfun alayhim wa la hum yahzanun. This is repeated, I think my memory is very, very poor, 62 or 65. I mean, ayah number 72, Ma'idah and this thing. So, this is why you should not understand Islam as a label. This was one of the curious things which led me to read Bible. I started reading Bible for the first time. Why? Because I wanted to know, since Isa alayhi salam was Muslim and we believe he believed in Allah and the Islamic beliefs, and he is a messenger of Allah, and he is teaching, so that teaching should be Islam. I was looking for Islam in the Bible. So Islam is not used as a word, label. First as a layman Muslim, lay Muslim, traditional Muslim, just label Muslim. I was naive, looking for Islam. No, Islam, I should not look in the sense we understand, in the sense what Quran says. That means not as a label, as a, what is Islam? Muhammadil, what is Islam? If not a label.
It is a perfect way of life.
Submission.
Sorry?
A good human being.
Submission.
This is the meaning. Yeah?
Attitude.
Attitude. Islam is an attitude of submission. Your relationship with God is expressed. You accept God and obey Him, submit Him. This attitude is the main thing. This attitude is applied to everyone before Prophet Muhammad also. In that sense, we recognize them Muslim, their religion as Islam. Attitude towards God. Not as a label, religious label, title, like other titles. So we are lost in that row that Islam is another religion, so we compare. No, it is not like that. We are comparing religion for two things. First thing is to address, to do true dawah to a non-Muslim what he believes, what is his weakness. I want to find out. I want to diagnose his sickness. Sickness in belief in God. What is wrong there? And then I want to be firm in my own faith that whatever I believe, it makes sense to me, more firm. Ibrahim alayhi salam was very firm in his faith, but still he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, "Oh Allah, how you give life after death?" See? Why he should ask? I am Muslim, happy, I am going to Jannah. He did not say like this. It's asking, increasing faith. So this is the objective. So comparative religion, for our understanding, is not putting religions side by side and choosing one. Religion is, our understanding is one, but in order to connect to them, to bring to the point that we don't believe like this, we say, yes, we were all same in the beginning. So we say, I think I told earlier also, probably Salman can tell me, other non-Muslims, I apply inclusive approach. That means we are all together, and explain about Islam. So what sort of example or simile I can tell? We were all the same in the beginning.
On a boat.
Sorry?
On a boat.
No, that is in simple language. Before boat, on land. Anybody who attended my classes earlier? Sorry? So you have the knowledge, we are not able to bring that dot to connect in this context. That's why connect the dot. Our understanding, if it is deeper, then we easily connect the dots. If it is superficial, then we focus on the dot, it remains stuck there, but we are not able to connect. We don't see the big picture. So I give the example like this. Everybody? Yes. Okay. We were all going on a highway to start our journey. In the beginning, we were all one community, one group. This is mentioned in the Quran, Surah Baqarah is there. In the beginning, the whole humankind is one community. When the time passed, some people started taking bylanes, side roads. And what we are doing? Oh, you are going in a wrong direction. Our highway destination, you will not reach through this road. Come back to the track. Come back to the track. This is dawah. This is inclusive approach. Don't go away from this highway, straight path from A to B. You are all going A to B on a highway, and then people started deviating. Don't deviate. We will not reach the destination.
Why they deviate?
Why they deviate? Okay, good question. Tell me, Salman, why do we deviate?
Because the destination point is that because the destination point is not correct.
Shaitan.
No, don't blame others. Shaitan is very clever. He said, don't blame me, blame yourself. He is very clever.
Target is wrong.
Sorry?
Lack of aql.
No, it is blaming.
Ignorance?
Arrogance. Maybe.
Well, these are reasons. Yes. Sorry?
Sister is
They
saying they
dropped.
dropped out from the boat.
Yeah, but
Desires?
what was the question?
Why did they deviate? Why did they deviate?
Where? So, what are the points of deviation? Deviation takes place in which area? Area of unseen realities. Because these realities, these truths are speculative. And with time, this speculation gets distorted. You imagining one generation with correct unseen reality information passes on to the other generation. And this generation is not that smart, so he explains, giving examples and try to explain in his way, in his language. Then this generation passes on to another generation. So this speculative thing gets distorted. And how it gets distorted? What is the example?
You gave an example saying before Chinese whispers.
Sorry?
Chinese whispers.
Chinese whisper. Chinese whisper, I think everybody knows, but if somebody don't know, this is a very good, interesting game which children play. 10 kids stand in a line, and this number 1 is conveyed in his ear some statement which he is supposed to convey the number 2 what is statement, and the statement he received, number 2 receives, conveys to number 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5 until the last one, number 10. And then number 10 is asked by the one who whispered number 1, what was the statement? Something else was there. This is called Chinese whisper. And they reveal that statement and people laugh and they enjoy. This becomes a fun. This is happening at the same time. What about if lapse of time like this? What about generations pass? Deviation is bound to happen. In a speculative realm, where chance is there to speculate. Since this is a reality, unseen reality, the concept of God can never be remain same. There is every chance to slip from that. That's why scholars have tried to identify the concept of Tawheed by understanding it, by classifying it. Tawheed, Uluhiyya, Rububiyyah, Sifat, all those things. This division is scholarly. Prophet ﷺ, he didn't do these three divisions of Tawheed. This is done by scholars. It is not in Hadith. These are scholars. Some scholars have made 2, some scholars have made 5, but 3 is majority accepted, and when we study these 3 categories of Tawheed. Why they did attempt to make this? Because those days when Islam was spreading and spreading to areas, and Muslims were embracing, those people were embracing Islam, but their Islam was getting distorted in the area of Tawheed. So when they identified, this is an area you should be careful. Most religions, they have no problem with Uluhiyya. They worship divinity, divine, but they miss Rububiyyah. The concept of Rabb is not there. They make Rabb the worldly matters, money, they depend on money, they expect, they put some idols. This is goddess of money, this is the goddess of power, this is goddess, this is Hinduism. There are all those sifat. Each sifat is given a name for a god. So God, Supreme God, the Chief God, has his cabinet of ministers to assist him. This is God for this, God for this, defense minister, finance minister, all those ministers are there in Hinduism. Each is one God, goddess. They don't discriminate gender. So, goddess of power, she is a lady, not man. Anyway, so this is the slip.
So they believe in one God.
Yes, the one Supreme God.
After all, yes.
What's the name?
Paramatma, isn't it? Yes.
What's the name?
Sorry?
What's the name? The name of their God.
Paramatma.
Paramatma.
Yeah, Param is first. Prime Minister. And his cabinet consists of Minister for Power, Minister for Wealth, Minister for Knowledge, Education Minister. This is goddess. Lakshmi is goddess of wealth. So this ministry is there to help God. Because God is Almighty God. He doesn't need any help. He is supreme. He is Almighty. If another God is there, he is not no more Almighty. Almighty means he is a full control, full power. No one can stand before him. So why he needs another? Everything is possible for him to do. If I want to lift this thing, I don't tell, please, Ahmad, help me. Why? This is easy. I ask, please, Ahmad, help me, I want to move. Because I cannot do. But for God, everything is easy. He has to just utter command, be, and things happen. For such a powerful, almighty God, he doesn't need any assistant. Why petty gods? Why plurality of gods? Why shirk? Almighty God is all-powerful God, full of all those attributes, divine attributes, unique. So, attributes of God are very important to go along with the existence of God. Unless existence of God is combined with attributes of that God and the rights of that God, that we having these attributes, I have certain relationship and I have to love this God, respect this God, fear this God's displeasure, hope this God's love and care, all those put together, then this is Allah. Al-Ilah. There are so many ilahs, the cabinet minister, but prime minister is Al-Ilah. He doesn't need any cabinet. Allah. So, sorry, yeah,
Samad.
yes. So, I mean, I think deviated.
Good deviation.
Sorry?
Always good deviations.
Yeah, I mean, these are like footnotes. Footnotes are to explain the main text part. So these are footnotes are mentioned in the written text, but this verbal text, footnotes is this such digression, this deviation from the main topic. But this is important information. It helps to connect the dots. You must have heard while discussing something else, but when the things become relevant, at this time I must explain, and repetition always is helpful. Inna dhikra tanfa'ul mu'minin. Okay. Why different religions? Achha, then the area we identified, the deviation takes place in which area?
Unseen realities.
Unseen realities. What are those realities?
Allah.
Allah one.
Jannah.
The 6 pillars of Iman.
Sorry?
The 6 pillars of Iman.
Unseen realities.
So believe in Allah.
Heaven, hellfire, angels.
Yes, all this. Yes.
They are pillars of Iman.
So instead of getting to theory part, our problem is immediately we go to theory what we have studied in the childhood. So it remains in our memory. We don't go beyond that. So this is my approach is not like that. My approach is to go see the big picture. Suppose you are talking about Jannah, this thing, all this. The main big picture how I can express life after death. Halas. Jannah, Jahannam, all this included. Resurrection, accountability, hisab, kitab and all that. These are all included. So this is big picture. But when we point out what to do, we get stuck in the point. I'm not telling this is wrong. This is first class, okay. But this attitude to understand is not that much okay, because then it takes you to focus on one particular aspect, not see the broader picture. That's why I try to make it simple and a comprehensive word to give a broader picture. Life after death is one reality. Halas. Allah is one reality. And all those realities, all those things, pillars of faith, prophets and messengers, whatever we have. So these are subsidiary for understanding purpose, for analytical purpose. So I don't want to go to academics. These are theory. I am interested in dealing a subject, an issue with reference to our practical life and reference to what is easily understandable to a layman. So this approach I find is useful, but it doesn't mean other approaches are wrong. I am not telling this is wrong. I prefer this which I am sharing with you. This is the point. Okay. The problem with non-Muslims is they think because the word Islam they started using after the Prophet ﷺ. So they say this is a new religion. Hinduism was there before 5,000 years. Islam has come recently. They are copying us. Our things are common with them, so they say they are copying us. We existed before. It is the other way. Islam is a new religion. This is the biggest misconception. So we have to remove this misconception. Islam is not a new religion. And once you do, then they cool down. They come nearer to us. for inclusive approach. Okay. Logical approach, things which make sense. God is one and the same for all. The creator, sustainer, God is creator, sustainer, the Almighty, supreme being. He has got uniquely supreme. He doesn't need a cabinet. One God, one humankind. As a biological species, human being, one and the same everywhere. You are in America, China, Siberia, Australia, New Zealand, anywhere. Human being is human being. For eating habits and biological fulfillment of needs, all the same. Behaving good way, bad way, this is also there everywhere. There are good persons, bad persons. So, the human beings are given also, Allah has given certain things for their survival and growth, to help them survive and grow, certain things to help. Since human being is given freedom of choice, he chooses certain things which is dangerous. So, he needs help. That is why the guidelines are given. It is human nature. Human nature is, I give the example of smoking, for example. Simple example. Do you think smoking is good? Not at all. Who says this? Some priest or mullah? Scientists. What do they write on the cigarette packet? Warning. They write warning, statutory warning, legal warning. What is the warning, Salman? You did not smoke, so don't know.
Smoking is injurious to health.
Injurious to health.
Kills.
It will kill you.
Smoke kills.
In some countries like Malaysia, they print a cancerous lung. If you see that, you will never smoke. In spite of that, people smoke. This is wrong. I mean, this is the problem with human being. Even though the intellect tells, don't do this, his desire incites to do this. So, in order to help this weakness, Allah has given guidelines. So, Allah has to give guidelines. And human beings are not existing for only 7th century after the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They are from time immemorial, when the first man landed on the earth, Adam Alayhi Salam. Since then, the guidelines are available. Only thing is that highway, people are deviating, having speculations to understand in a different way. This is one understanding. Number two, whatever was revealed or whatever was taught by the Prophet, this was not available to next generation in the same way. Why? Because those teachings were not available to them. Why they were not available? Sorry? They were not written. They were not written so that exactly the same thing is conveyed. All these teachings were going verbal. His whispers, Chinese whisper started. So this whispering activity was continued. Even the writing material was not there. Paper was not there. Things to write down, tools are not there. Even the language changes. The English I am speaking here, 200 years back, that English you cannot understand. Even in England, the old people, their English is different. Every language has a tendency to change with time. If there is a gap from teaching to writing down as a scripture, a gap of hundred of years. In case of Buddhism, this gap from the teaching from the life of Buddha until the first scripture, Buddhist scripture which is in our hand, which we read, this gap was 500 years minimum. Some scholars say 1,000 years, up to 1,000 years. Imagine if something is written down of 500 years, how it can be exactly same. The simple example I give is that of Xerox copy, photocopy. If you take a photocopy, square, I write something on a square with a square border and take a photocopy. And from that photocopy I make another photocopy. And from that 10th photocopy, the same, this photo reflection is changing. It is distorted. It is not exactly the same. So this is happening with this solid material, tangible material. So what about speculative area? But there is another area, there is possibility of not deviation. What are those things? What is this area? Where deviations are not likely. Sorry?
When you see you will memorize, you will write, you and the surrounding will be like authentic way of narration from one to one, written memory. So there is no chance if the author is
Then one area identified is unseen realities, which is prone to be understood by next generation in a deviated form.
Elohiyya.
But another area is there, this information remains more or less same.
Respecting parents.
Sorry?
The area of respecting parents. That's
Relationship,
generation through generation, so everyone.
human relationship. Respecting parents is a very good example because the instructions in the Quran, the respect, about this respect to parents mentioned along with the worshipping God. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ. Allah has commanded you, ordained you not to worship anyone other than Allah. لَا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا اللَّهَ. Then immediately in the same verse mentions وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. This is so strong statement with relationship to the human interaction with parents. And Hindus still they have this 5,000 years old. They consider their mother is God. So when they have high respect, they make it God. The God is very loosely they used without rububiyah. So everything is God for them. Mother is God, father is God, and teacher is God. This I studied when I was studying in middle school. My mother tongue is Urdu, normally with Muslims, but local language is Telugu, which is normally spoken by Hindus. So Hyderabad was a Muslim ruler, the king. There was one king for Hyderabad, Muslim king, from the time of Mughals. And language, the official language was Persian, Farsi. Urdu is also a mixture of Farsi and Arabic, lot of Arabic words. So Islamic influence is there. So this inclination, Muslims' inclination was towards Urdu. So when Hyderabad was merged or grabbed by India, Telugu was imposed. So I had to read Telugu. In this Telugu book, this was this. My mother is God, my father is God. My mother is God because she gave birth to me, she brought up me, she taught me. My father is God because of this. My teacher is God because of this. So all are gods. This respect is there, they are expressing even by their actions. When nowadays, modern day, of course, this is different, recent changes, but when you receive your parent, immediately you touch their feet out of respect. Like make sujood, make ruku, yes.
Is that because they consider their parents as God? That's why they do that?
Yeah, out of respect. They sorry?
Not anymore. Till now.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
It is still done.
Yeah, you ask these two guys.
We know it is still done. Literally, sujood is done.
Yes, I've seen it.
Seen it? No, we have. Mass. We have seen.
So this is comparative religion. You did not know. You should know. Then you see, this is how we share. Areas of commonalities are coming up now. Now I am becoming confident that these two are not away, we are together. This is for inclusive approach. We are going on the same highway and you deviated on some grounds like speculative ground of unseen realities. But in muamalat, in dealings with each other, in values, human values, they have not changed or changed very little. Even those who have left the religion, they have left rituals, but they have adhered the values. Where from these values came? Values, universal values. What is the origin of universal values? Islam. Where from they got? So these are the things where changes don't take place. So what happens when they discuss with us? They start from the values and they say that your behavior is not conforming to values. So Muslims, they are praying but cheating also, lying also. This is not done by a non-Muslim. In India, the list of criminals, majority of them are Muslims. This is the picture. Am I right? Yes. Unfortunately, yes.
So why?
This is the question. Why?
It is planned.
Our following Islam is for a label. Lip service.
Criminology is different.
Yes.
This is field of criminology.
Yes. Okay, leave it. I am digressing. God is one, humankind is one.
Media same is different, but in the field of criminology it's different. We put that into their field. The specialists.
Though they are not doing it, but we are labeling. Muslims are getting labeled.
Yeah, Muslims are getting labeled on media, it's clear. That we know.
Because of this, why this impression has come to them? They see some examples. They focus only on those examples who are criminals. But the same thing is not happening in South Africa. Muslims are in a lesser minority, but they command respect in the government ministry and business, all these things. They are more percentage than the population percentage.
That is there.
Yes, in South Africa. One story was there, which I read. There was somebody, South African, in South Africa this happened. Somebody was taking out car tires from somebody's garage. So the neighbor saw and phoned that lady that you have a thief, and then the description with a cap. Then this owner lady say, "Oh, if he is Muslim, yeah, he looks like Muslim, and then he is not thief. He is not thief." This is the impression. This is the impression. Even if he is a thief, this is the impression. Overall, socially, Muslims are well placed because they have set certain good examples, serving the humanity. This is the main thing. Shaitan has come. I think some signal is there he is giving. Yes. So if there is one God, okay, this will help to wake you up. So the natural I know now. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. That means some are still sleeping. This is a good deviation from sleeping. Okay, one God, one humanity. You should have one system to govern this humanity, and the system we say we have given recognized as religion. Religion is system of living, way of life. I think this video you have already seen, but there are some new faces they have not seen. Salman.
Also, today I had South Africans. Sure. Today I had South Africans in the tour. I had a couple South Africans. They said they know about Islam, but nobody from Muslims
Explained.
there
Yeah.
explained. It's only when they came here they understood. So maybe
Yeah,
Muslims
it doesn't mean that all Muslims are very good, but the impression, generally, overall impression at the social level is this. What I explained, what I heard, I explained.
Which religion is this?
Sorry?
Buddhism? Which religion?
Okay, any sister who had not seen this video, you do not see? Okay, what did you see now? What did you see? What he was doing? Praying. Who was he? Muslim or non-Muslim?
he was worshipping.
What do you think? Non-Muslim? Why? Sorry? In a different way. Shias prays in a different way. Maybe he is another sect.
He was not towards the Qibla.
Possible, no? But he was praying. Why do you say he is praying? He had qiyam, ruku, sujood, everything was there. This person was Buddhist. He was showing me in Japan, as Buddhist, how did he pray? You got it? That means the prayer or salah exists with Buddhists also. How come? How Buddhists have started performing? I mean, how did they know about salah? You have to stand, you have to bow, and you have to make sujood.
From the grandfather, grandfather.
Yeah. Where from start? Origin?
Remnants of the original message.
Origin is only Islam. This is the original religion. Islam is not a new religion.
Yeah.
Islam is not a new religion. Now these religions which are existing with different labels, different titles like Buddhism, Christianity, these are all later developments. Originally everything was Islam. So this is the inclusive approach. What I gave the example, originally we were all same, started our journey all same. At the time zero, when human being landed here, now so many years have passed, thousands of years passed. In this journey, all these things happened. So original religion did not remain in the same position until a time. What was the time? Until in human history? Until
the first major change you're talking about?
Until the appearance of the last prophet. These changes, deviations continued, this process of deviation continued to happen, and then Allah sent another person to correct this, and some followed, and then again deviation took place, some followed, again deviation place. This process continued until the final messenger appeared, until the human civilization reached a stage when it was possible to receive a complete and final message. That's why the Prophet was read up, and that is the reason why Quran is preserved. Final message which is addressing to whole humankind for all times has to be preserved. Then only it becomes final messenger. No other messenger, no guide is going to come to guide humanity. Why? Because the whole thing is available to us. Previously this was not available to us. And this preservation is basically through memorization. Yes.
Why is it that the previous scriptures or teachings were not preserved?
Yeah, you tell me. Why Injil is not preserved? Why Torah is not preserved?
Holding scripture.
Why Zabur is not preserved?
Because it wasn't written.
And it's
Simple
written in
reason.
prophets.
Very simple. You will laugh.
Preserved by Allah.
Yes. Why?
It wasn't written down. It wasn't recorded.
Yes,
It was
please.
just
During those previous times, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala entrusted humans to preserve it. And they did not do a great job in that regard. Later on with the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken this responsibility upon himself to preserve the Quran, to preserve the revelation so it cannot change.
Yes.
This is the final message.
Yes. This is one of the reasons, but the very good reason, very basic reason which I understood is simply very simple. They were not meant to be preserved. Why? No. Why?
For certain people, not for the
This message was, earlier prophets came to certain people, not the whole mankind, not for all times. The last one was the only who came for the whole humanity. Whole humanity. And this is the very important point, to preserve the teaching. Henceforth, if people deviate, then who will guide? Sorry? People deviate by nature. Then why not any prophet? Why you said Prophet Muhammad is the last one? Why? Tell me. Why?
Could you repeat again the question?
My question is, I say he was the final prophet. That's why the message is preserved both verbally and in writing. There is no chance to lose it. And Allah has Himself taken the guarantee. But somebody told me, why like this? People are deviating still, like before. Why not there is another prophet? And we have received in human history, many prophets came. One prophet came in Qadian, Pakistan, Ahmadi. They are active in Europe and America. Even in Bahrain, we had some groups, pseudo-Muslims.
How do you call them?
Qadiani. Baha'is in Iran. Baha'u'llah, he claimed prophethood. So why we reject? Why we reject prophethood? Why we say last prophet?
The hadith of the Prophet does say that.
No, hadith is not acceptable to me. I am from Mars.
Because there is no one came after Prophet Muhammad with same miracles that given to him.
Miracle? Not. There is no need for a prophet. We need a reformer. The original teachings are preserved. What we need is a reformer, not a prophet. Prophet means he is receiving a revelation from Allah. He is the messenger of Allah. He receives the message and passes on to the people. Nobody need to receive a message. Message is there already available. You have to just go to the message and get the guidance. And non-Muslims who are turning to Islam, they are turning because of Quran. I met people who said, thank God I did not saw Muslims first. My encounter was not with Muslims, but with Quran. After reading the Quran, when I saw Muslims, I was shocked. So had I seen Muslims behaving like this, not complying the Quranic instructions, I would not have become Muslim. Yes, please.
What do you mean with reformer?
Reformer,
Mujaddid of what? Yani, deen is completed, is perfect.
there is reform is something has gone wrong, you have to repair.
Was like,
Islah, Muslih.
so, because this word reformer has another meaning, like in Sikhism, they are giving for their gurus as reformers. So using the same term in Islam will be like, we have some issue with our religion and they came to fix this one. So I used to mention we need like followers to Quran and teaching Prophet Muhammad rather than reformers, because no one has authority to change, to add, to remove anything from the Quran, from the religion. Whoever he is.
No, reformers for the deviation. Something has gone wrong with the car, I send for repair.
But not for the original message, because it's been preserved.
Original message is the guideline.
Yes. So we need
Based on this original teaching, the person is available to convey the same original teaching, so that person is needed. We don't need prophet. We don't need a person. We need a person who takes the guidance from these preserved teachings, preserved for the whole humankind and for all times. What more you want? The things are available. That's why I told a new Muslim, read the Quran and he became Muslim. There are many people we have received in the Discover Islam also. One American, white American, he was Christian, he became atheist. But one day, some of his students, he was mathematics professor. One day somebody has given him Quran. He did not want to read, but he was without any job and nothing was available to him to read. So I thought, let me read. They have given. When he started reading, he got stuck. He said, this is what answers my questions. And another doubt comes, he gets the answer. I say, how come? This is answering he's talking to me as if. Then he changed. He became believer. And on and on things took place. And after it culminated into Shahada. He described his whole story here in Baitul Quran. He gave a talk. So there are many examples. This example is what I know. But if you read the stories, you will have plenty of very heartwarming examples. Then the message is available. What is to be done? This message has to be conveyed and applied. So that person's job is a reform. Not prophet. Prophet we say when? Because prophet is the one who is receiving the guidance for the deviated people from God. Yes, please.
I think there's a hadith where it mentions that every 100 years there will be a reformer. Like the deen is complete, but then it will be distorted because of deviated ideologies. And then they'll just fix it. Because they're not adding something new to it. They just make
Yeah,
it different.
this is, this is, okay for a Muslim. I am from Mars. I am from another planet. I am a non-Muslim. I want to understand Islam. So I am putting such questions. For Muslims, there is no problem. We have got full, whatever I am taking, their full basis, Quran and Sunnah is full of this. This is not out of blue.
What is an easy and fast way to determine a prophet from a messenger?
Prophet and messenger. What is the meaning of messenger? Conveys the message. What is Nabi? Naba. So Naba means only news. What news, whatever he gets, messenger has to come with a law. Message means law. So messengers have conveyed law. And Anbiya, Nabi, they did not have their own law. Harun alayhi salam was a messenger, brother of messenger. But he was Nabi, he is not messenger. So there is some subtle difference. It is not certainly, this is not me I am telling, this is scholars have said that this we distinguish like this, on the basis of this, a message comes. So it is based on the hadith, for example, when he said, for the consumption of Muslims, the hadith says, number of prophets in the world, Allah has sent 124,000. 124,000 prophets. And the number of messengers, how many? 300 something. 313, 23, something like that. Plus minus. Very less. Nuh alayhi salam was the first messenger. He brought a book, canon, Qanun. Canon is Arabic word. English word has gone into Arabic. Qanun has become canon. Anyway, so
Stop here.
this is what? Sister, what is this? Yeah, this is Buddhist temple. I went to the temple and there was water available for wudu. But their wudu is not like Muslim wudu. They are just washing their feet and some hands like this. So what is the message? Message is all those are glimpses of the original religion Islam, leftovers from the original religion Islam. Oh, yes. So when the signal comes, means 5 more minutes.
Sheikh, you said about comparative religion, you have commonalities and differences. Now, throughout the year, we can talk about commonalities, but when it comes to their festivals, like you have Christmas coming near, when they start coming and saying Merry Christmas and all that, I have to do my differences. So I don't have the practice of displaying my differences. How do I strengthen? Because throughout the year I am talking about commonalities. This is dangerous for my family. They will say, bring your family, bring. This is dangerous. How do I manage? Whole year I am saying commonalities, but when
I cannot.
festivals come, I become.
Yeah.
I'm not strong enough.
Yeah.
I have to maintain.
Yes, I understood. How to do? I cannot say do like this. I can just, because such things are not like on and off, black and white. They are all situational based. The situation of the person you are, situation of the society you are, situation of the dangers you face, situation of the hikmah you use, all those situations we have to consider when we do dawah. It is not scholarly approach, mufti approach, halal haram, that's all. That is right. But the situation says use hikmah. For example, I give this example. Some king, he was impressed by 3 monastic religions. This king was polytheistic, mushrik, and he found this Christianity, Islam and Judaism attractive religions. Among these 3 religions, he chose Islam. He wanted to embrace Islam, and he called mullah, a priest from Christianity, and a rabbi from Judaism. He started with mullah. He said, I like Islam very much, but I cannot live without drinking. I can become Muslim, but I will continue drinking. The Mufti said, Mullah said, no, it is haram. He said, then okay, I will not accept because it is haram. So he became Christian. So did he do a right thing or wrong? Wrong. Technically, as a scholar, he was right. What he stated was not wrong. Drinking is haram. But in that situation, he could have used hikmah, wisdom. At least he is saving him from hellfire. He is a bad Muslim. Hopefully, when he accepts Islam and later on he gets the realization that I have to stop one day, hopefully he could have become good Muslim. But the very door you have closed by sending him bye-bye. You should not enter Islam. So this was a foolishness. No wisdom was used. Because the situation as demanded, he did not go along with the situation by hikmah. So all these things which matter, these are the things which are related to dealings and interactions. They are always to be seen in the light of situation. And situation differ from person to person. The same thing is narrated by one person who should reject. Example, in a hadith, one person came to the Prophet, he asked the question, what will happen if I kill a person? Am I going to hellfire? The Prophet said, Allah is very kind and compassionate. If you repent, you will be saved. Okay. The same question was asked by another person in another gathering, which was visited by the same companions, same Sahaba, but he gave another reply, just contrary. Yes, you will go to hell. Then the Sahaba was puzzled. The same thing, you say, yes, Allah is kind, but he says, yeah, we'll go to hell. Why? Why? The situation was different. The first person was an elderly person. He was repenting in his heart. That's why he approached the Prophet ﷺ. Am I already khalas? No hope? Then he said, no, there is hope. You ask Allah to forgive. But the other person was a young person. If he gives the same reply, Allah will forgive. He will go and kill. So he said, no. So this is hikmah, situation. The scholarly statement may be technically right, but when I apply in a situation, it may be wrong. Another example, eating pork is halal or haram? Are you sure? It is halal also. It depends on the situation. When there is nothing to eat, it is for us to save your life. And you have to eat pork.
Now you have someone who reverted to Islam.
Yes.
And he went back to his family.
Yes.
And he's having lunch with his parents.
Yes.
And they're offering him pork.
Yeah. In that situation, he is a new Muslim. If he says, no, I will not, that means the relationship will be spoiled. But he says, or pretends, says, or takes with the intention that I don't want to, oh Allah, talks to Allah, oh Allah, I don't want, but since my parents, I cannot deny in this situation, henceforth I will see somehow, I will put the condition, don't serve pork, I have stopped eating pork, then perhaps this time I can go, next time will not go. But if he refuses and behaves stubbornly, they will get the impression, what is this? I have lost this son. There is no more. I cannot have relationship. Your treatment with the parents have to be very kind. And I've got stories in the book form. When this is in America, an American white lady got married to a Muslim Iranian, and the parents were church people, very devoted Christians. They got upset. They declared, you are dead for me. Don't enter my house. And this lady, because she embraced Islam for seeking the truth, and Islam taught, be kind to parents. And husband was also a good Muslim, so he helped. And both of them, they gave some time and visited. So they were not opening door and things like that. They visited again. They took some gifts and presents. This time they become soft after a little bit. And again, slowly they reconciled. And the mother, she started looking for how is it possible? My daughter is such a great daughter for me. How she could embrace the religion of a terrorist? Can't believe. She told in the discussion, there are many who are converting to Islam. So she was quite inquisitive to know why they are embracing Islam. So she made a questionnaire and sent to all those who were converts, and the questionnaire was sent to those from different backgrounds, religious backgrounds and age-wise, and she compiled into a book and wrote Daughters of Another Path. The name of the book is Daughters of Another Path. That means these ladies were marrying to Muslims. So anyway, so definition of Islam, this is the last slide. With an inclusive approach, a practical approach, and simple approach, no terminology, no reference, I am from Mars, easy to understand. What is the definition? Anybody on earth, I mean even not on earth is not required. Anybody on earth, any time in history, whoever recognizes the one true God, not only recognize, accept. Recognize is one thing, accepting is different thing. I may recognize, yes, he is the chief minister, but I don't accept, I don't like. And not only accept, but I show my acceptance in practical terms. Submit to his will. So this person's religion is nothing but Islam. Islam in a descriptive sense, in a functional sense. What is that functional sense? Islam?
Attitude of submission.
Attitude of submission, in that sense.
You're the one who wrote this?
Yeah, it's me. Yes.
This is
Yes, in the discussion, this is out of my personal experience. With non-Muslims, when discuss, I want to imagine in their shoes. One non-Muslim was discussing with me, a Hindu. He was telling, Adam, there was Islam at the time of Adam. How is it possible? There were no 4 wives he could not get. So his concept is, if you are following Islam, you should have 4 wives.
Only 4?
No, this was his impression. So he considered from that lens, he saw Muslim is the one who has 4 wives. This is the propaganda, which is the media and propaganda and behavior of some Muslims. Court cases are there, so it comes into limelight. And the media is focusing only on this sensitizing news. Good news, they do not get money. If you report something is very good happening there, so what? If you say bomb blast is there, then they will be reading. They want more details and more papers will be sold.
They need sensational drama.
Yeah. So bad news is the good news for them to make money.
You should put your name down.
No. This is little bit.
This is waqf fi sabilillah.
This is Riya. This is the credit goes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He allowed me to have interaction with non-Muslims and to go. So all my things which I am sharing with you are based on personal experiences. Lateral thinking, critical thinking, not adhering to exactly what I am fed with. The original information which I am fed with is, I consider, it's kids level understanding. I have to put my input. Maybe my input will open the doors to look from different angles. This is one definition. I have got many definitions of Islam. This is one of those definitions with reference to a non-Muslim.
So we can use this one in the beginning or to close the tour.
Sorry?
We can use this statement in the beginning or at the end of the tour.
in end of the
Tour.
tour.
TMT.
No. You have to seek a proper opportunity. Strike when the iron is hot. You have to see when the man is prepared.
After you hit the iron, you hit the
Yes,
tour.
you should heat the iron first and then heat it. Yes. So, please,
I would say this at the end of the tour.
yes. Anytime, yes. When you feel that this message is properly understood by the person, the addressee.
They have to understand the nature of one true God and
Yes.
not to accept
Three levels. I identified 3 levels. Recognize, number 1, basic level. Accept, number 2, the outcome of that recognition. Number 3 is prove yourself through your actions. Acceptance. I accept means I behave as if I have not accepted. This is not. It is hypocrisy. Yes, Vayyakum. Yes.
Anyone, anytime, anywhere, whenever recognizes, accepts, and submits to the one true God.
No. Don't say it as a theory.
Islam.
Don't say as a theory. Not academic.
Just summarize
Not memorized.
the course.
Yeah, you have to see, divide, give a pause, make them understand. Then you should say, anybody who recognizes, then you stop. Give chance to them, what do you mean by recognize? Not only recognizes and then accepts. You can add certain things to emphasize the acceptance. Not only accept, that show by practical way in your life. That means submit. So this you have to add your things to make it from theory to practical. So other things just memorize, reproduce. Halas, this is theory. This is academic.
Can you change recognize with believe?
Now believe means
Whoever believe in the one true God.
I have my own way to believe something. Recognize is different from belief.